Uno momento herbivore. Uno momento. Uno momento. I'll be right with you. I'll be right with you. All right. What's up with everybody, man? How y'all feeling this morning? And all of that good stuff. What's popping with the people? Tell me what's goody. George the angry old man, good morning. How's everybody feeling today? Oh my God, this bitch is gonna drive me nuts. My bad, yo. Like, I swear to God, I hate fucking women, dog. Like, I fucking hate women. These bitches is crazy. And then bitches be wondering why I'm single, yo. I can't stand bitches, man. Like, every woman in my life, all of them bitches operate the same. Dick crazy. Anyway, Chris Price salute. Man, they always dislike, bro. And for real, they so retarded, they don't realize that they better off not saying nothing because it's click by impression. Click by impression. Every time a person clicks, the algorithm like takes everything and throws it together and figures out like how much they gonna pay you based on how many clicks and likes and shit you get. So whether a person hits dislike or whether a person hit like, I still get paid for the shit. I don't even care. Like, and the only people that dislike my shit is motherfuckers that I either had to carve up in a video or, you know what I'm saying, just emasculate and make them fools look like the cowards they are. Because clearly it's a lot of cowards out here. But I mean, I wish them all the best and all of that good stuff. I really do. Like, motherfuckers retarded. I'm about to block a whole bunch of bitches in my real life. And for real, it's too early for this stuff, man. Dennis, salute. So apparently, you know, the whole world is clamoring for Valdez versus Navarrete, which I'm just saying, man, it ain't a bad fight. It's not a bad fight, but the fight makes no fucking sense, man. And of course, they're going to try to put Oscar Valdez. See, look, this is what people don't understand, right? They're going to put Oscar Valdez in Navarrete's way, and they're not going to put him in Shakur's way because stylistically, they can make that shit look like Joey Gonzalez versus Navarrete. And then, you know what I'm saying, the Latino community and everybody who get behind Valdez and Navarrete will be happy with it just because they punch the shit out of each other in the face. But one thing they can't stand for is the Latino fans getting their ass whooped, like getting his ass whooped by Shakur. They're not going to go for that. They'd rather have a sock 'em bottom contest and see this dude get all the way emasculated. Bruh, it's like hate is like, I don't know, hate is the way a lot of these dudes operate. I've been getting hated on my whole life in real life by a lot more scary people that I ain't even scared of. So that shit don't mean nothing to me, man. If you can't physically put your hands on me, if you ain't got the heart to say that shit to my face, like, that shit ain't about nothing, man. That's just everyday shit. People hide behind, that's what people do. Everybody gotta hide behind something, you know what I'm saying? Everybody does it, unfortunately. But yeah, man, they would rather an all-out Mexican war than watch this dude get emasculated by Shakur Stevenson. And these are facts. But see, the facts of the matter is, and I was chopping up the video, that's what took me a second. I was editing the video right when the live was ready to come out. I was trying to get it out first as quick as I could, but sometimes it just don't happen like that. And I was just saying, at the end of the day, they're always going to try to put a Mexican war above, you know what I'm saying, a slick boxer, whether it be a black slick boxer or a white slick boxer, but especially Shakur Stevenson getting out there and beating on his ass. Because let's be honest here, Shakur don't stand Valdez don't stand a chance. He can't beat Shakur. He can't beat Shakur, but the fact of the matter is, I got an article on September 21st. Valdez definitely said, you want the winner of Heron Stevenson. Now, you know what I'm saying? Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong and show me that you want that fight. Because I'm sorry, fighting Navarrete, which Navarrete will pummel his ass. and beat the shit out of him. You know what I'm saying? Fighting Navarrete at 126 pounds or him coming up to 130 is completely insignificant to the fact that when you can unify titles. This nigga said sweet tea. Like I'm telling you, it's starting to become Valdez. Like Shakur Stevenson going to be that monster in his closet. I don't know. I don't know what type of Valdez. Like either you going to jump out there or not. I'm just sick of it. I'm just sick of it. You either going to jump out there and fight him, or just say you scared of the dude, or make another excuse that what's his name Abel Sanchez or one of them dudes will make and say he born. Do that. Do that. I believe. I would believe. I would be more prepared for that excuse than anything, because that's the excuse I'm used to getting. Oh, he's born. They're not gonna let Shakur make Valdez look bad, because for one, to make Valdez look bad, the Latino community can't stomach it. And for three, you know, they don't want to make Eddie Reynoso look human. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like they want to make they look. They're gonna always find another Mexican fighter to put in front of another Mexican fighter to make it look like a war and make it look like it ain't what it really is, because Navarrete is a tough guy. So regardless, the fans will be okay with him fighting Navarrete and be like, well, Navarrete ain't no slouch. You know what I'm saying? It's no different. See, these are the things that Valdez does anytime it comes to Shakur Stevenson. When Shakur Stevenson was at 126 pounds, what did he do? He ran up to 130 and fought Berchelt, because Berchelt wasn't necessarily a bigger risk, even though he was the killer in that division at the time. Berchelt was a safer option for him. It was safer to go in there with Berchelt and possibly get in a dragged out war and one of y'all getting knocked out than getting in a fight with Shakur where you can't put one hand on. Let's call a spade a spade. I'm not gonna keep sugarcoating this motherfucking this Latino shit no more. I'm not gonna sugarcoat this black shit no more. Whatever the case may be, and y'all know that tribalism shit. I don't give two fucks about it. But the facts of look, these are the facts of life, man. Don't no fucking dude who plays sock and bop and robots want to go up with a fucking superior fucking technician like that, man. They don't. They don't. So you know what they hide behind is, oh, this is a Mexican dust up. That's what they hide behind. And nobody can tell me I'm lying about this shit, because I done witnessed it too much. Like, why don't you want to unify titles right now? I'm just saying. He needs another shot of Farmer Espresso. Facts. That's what I'm saying. Like, this dude is a known cheater. He's a known cheater. He's a known goalpost mover. He's a known he protected inside the system, man. Like for real. Like honestly, like let's go back. Like why did they stop? Why did they stop looking into the FENTERMINE situation? Like let's look at Berchelt. Let's look at all the shit Berchelt went through. Is that fair to Berchelt? Like I think that, you know what I'm saying, you need to go in the sense, like you need to do something that makes sense in the boxing world, man. And fighting Shakur Stevenson make the most sense. I don't know what other fight at 130 pounds. What other fight makes sense? The only fight that makes sense is Shakur Stevenson. But once again, they don't want Reynoso to look like a chump. They don't want Valdez to look like a chump. And then again, you would have to give credit where credit is due, man. At the end of the day, Valdez, I don't know what Valdez bring to the table. But I know the lie that's constantly, you know, thrown out in the media or whatever about these dudes. Them dudes don't fight the toughest guys. It's the same shit. It's no different than what Canelo do. No different. I don't care what nobody say. It's no different. Backdoor, avoid this one, wait till this one lose a belt or something like that, then hop up to this weight class and act like you moving through it, doing all of this tough guy shit, and you avoiding the stiffer competition, man. Niggas be avoiding the stiffer competition because at the end of the day, boxing is a sport to where you're going to look one or two ways. You're really going to look really good or really bad. And at the end of the day, these dudes don't want to look bad. That's it. They don't want to look bad. Who going to the any of y'all going out to Las Vegas for the Bud fight? Where all my shit go? All right, there we go. There we go. There we go. I'm just tired of it. Like, I'm gonna make sure that I push the narrative on my channel that, you know what I'm saying, Latino fighters is going out of their way to duck you know, stiff competition when it come to you know, well-rounded fighters. I don't care if they white, black, or whatever. If you well-rounded, they going out their way to duck you. All I would like to see is I would like to see more unifications. I like to see less talking, and I like to see if you're actually going to put out there in the media that that is something you want to do. People hold you accountable for it. You know what I'm saying? Like Bob Arum ain't no stupid dude, man. He ain't no stupid guy. Toby Bartlett, salute. Says the motherfucking balls, Mr. Two Hands Up, River Gang Radio. Salute to the chat. Salute to you too, homie. Like, man, what you think about Oscar Valdez versus Navarrete? Does that make sense to you right now, Toby? I just want to know. This shit just don't make no sense, man. And then, like, there's really nothing else at 130. There literally is nothing else at 130 pounds. There's nothing else. Valdez versus MMA. Look, if Navarrete go up to 130 pounds, that was coming anyway. But I don't think that's the fight that people should be, you know, focusing their time on. But watch what I tell you. Watch what I tell you. Watch the moves they pull. Eddie Reynoso will never look bad in the public eye. They ain't never gonna let it happen. These dudes is the heroes. These dudes is the perpetual conversation that people continue to make. They always try to save face for those who not willing to do certain shit. And at the end of the day, I'm gonna make it a point to bomb on all of these dudes. Whether it's Canelo, whether it's Oscar Valdez, any single one of them, Jamal Charlo, any of them. You know what I'm saying? Like, what is just like I heard Jamel don't even want to entertain fighting Brian Castano right now. Who was he talking about fighting the other day? Damn, I just had the article too. He was talking about fighting somebody else that made, oh yeah. Oh, that was Jamal. Jamal talking about fighting Triple G now. And honestly, I don't even think he could beat Triple G right now. No, but I understand they want Mexican fans for pay-per-views. But Valdez versus Shakur should be the fight to make, in my opinion. All I'm saying is, at the end of the day, man, for the succession of the sport, move the shit in the right direction. Like I said, Navarrete coming up to 130 pounds. If Navarrete coming up to 130 pounds, and they're gonna make, of course, they're gonna make the Valdez fight. They're gonna make it for that fan base because they know it's an easy sell, no brainer. I get it. But at the end of the day, like, yo, dude, like, we gotta recognize, we gotta be able to identify what the substitute shit that they be doing. They substitute these type of fights for ducking, man. They substitute these type of fights for ducking, and honestly, it's a pretty solid shield in front of it, I guess, because of who the opponent's name is. Well, like, at the end of the day, my thing is this: a duck is a duck is a duck. If you don't fight the guy, then you continuously don't fight the guy, and you avoiding titles or whatever, and then all of this shit is supposed to make sense. No, it don't make no sense to me. They already scared. They already scared. They don't want to fight that boy, man. They don't want to fight him. Like I said, when you come out and you're the one who asked for the fight, and now you're trying to entertain, you know, Emmanuel Navarrete, it just shows you exactly what you need to know. He don't want it. He don't want it, and a lot of dudes behind him is not going to want it either. Like I said, there's nobody from 126 pounds all the way up to, I would say, about, well, 135. It gets a little testy, but there's nobody at 126. There's nobody at 130 that can beat Shakur. Period. Period. Even if Loma came down to 130, he would beat the brakes off Loma. Beat the brakes off of him. So at the end of the day, it's just like, yo, the only person that's going to be able to beat Shakur Stevenson is somebody at 135 or somebody at 140 pounds. But here's the thing, though. They're going to go out of their way. They're going to go out of their way to make it to where, you know, he can't get that. He can't get those type of fights, man. He's gonna have to keep going up in weight and find a dog that's willing to entertain it, because none of his peers are gonna be willing to entertain that type of fight. Oscar Valdez is the biggest joke. What's the dude name? Conceição? When he fought Conceição, I'm probably butchering his last name. That dude was beating the shit out of Oscar, man. Let's call a spade a spade. That dude was beating Oscar Valdez's ass. They gifted him a belt. They gifted him the title and a decision, and he kept it moving. And after that fight, if you look at how Conceição was beating on his ass, what you think Shakur would do to his face? He got a swell, easy type face too. That motherfucker face swell up so quick. Like, you know, when Shakur put that jab on him. Good night, Irene. Let's see. All right, I'm gonna ask y'all real quick. I'm gonna throw this in here in the comments. Is Dylan White a duck? Is Dylan White a duck? I gotta know. Is Dylan a duck? What do you think about Nico Ali Walsh and having Holyfield's fight the other night? See, I didn't get to watch a bunch of the undercards. I did catch the Evan Holyfield's knockout or whatever. I thought it was a decent knockout. I think the kid's long. What division do Holyfield's son operate in? Xander Zayas, he put forth together a good performance as well. He put forth a good performance too. But Holyfield, I don't know, man. For me, right? Honestly, I don't get geeked up about early performances. I'm gonna tell y'all why. Because anybody from your first fight all the way up until your 15th fight, in most cases, they're there just to get beat on, softened up, give you more time in the ring to look a certain way. Doesn't necessarily, equate to you being good. You know what I'm saying? So for me, okay, I could say, all right, good performances, you guys perform. But at the end of the day, it's like, what were they? They were opponents. They were opposition that you were supposed to go out there and purposely look good against. So I never really have too much to say about early performances because they're all meant to look good. Okay, Holyfield at 154, Ali at 160. Holyfield, he a tall, long kid. I think he can grow into his body a little bit. He gonna grow into his body and all of that. But I just got to see these dudes fight some real opponents and face some real adversity, man. Like, it's just too early when you fighting scrubs, man. Can't get mad at him for going Fury over Auto when anyone else would do the same. Yeah, man, like I said, I don't care, man. Dylan, go get your money, man. At this point in time, when you got the WB, look, dude, like, let's put this in perspective, too. It ain't like the dude didn't get knocked out before, man. Right or wrong. Povetkin knocked him out. Highlight reel. Povetkin had that man head up in the stars and the quasars, man. Povetkin knocked him out. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I'm always up early. I don't sleep for shit. I really don't go to sleep. I'll be having one hand on the pistol. Whoops. And anyway, never mind. Never mind. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Yeah, man, but Povetkin knocked him out. He knocked him out. So if you got knocked out before, you know what I'm saying? Who want to go in there against a southpaw, a tall, long southpaw, or whatever that could prevent a night that make you look normal? People already hate Dillian White as it is. You know what I'm saying? Whether his performances are sensational knockouts or not, people just want to hate on my guy. So at the end of the day, if he goes out there, he puts on an average performance against Waller, that could hurt him. in the sense to where people going to talk like, it's boring, nobody wants to pay for this, etc., etc. And at the same time, we just watch SHAKUR put on a boring performance, but then he goes out there and performs and puts on his best performance against his best opponent. So it's a toss up. You know what I'm saying? Like I think for this dude, like if you really want to sit on the sideline and wait for your best opportunity, man, fuck it, so be it. But at the end of the day, it has to be considered a duck on some level as well. But if it's an openly admitted duck, I mean, what more can we say? I really don't have a problem with it. Like I said, y'all know I give Dillian White his roses 24/7, man. And it's at the point where Dillian White should be taking care of Dillian White. Y'all know what I'm saying? Like it comes to a point to where you please the fans, you please the promotional outfit, you went in every direction Eddie Hearn has asked you to go into, and it didn't pay off up until now. So it's like, yo, worry about you. You know what I'm saying? Salute to George, the angry old man with the $2 super chat. He says White has been passed over too many times to care now. Absolutely, man. It's like, yo, he can have all of the best performances in boxing, man. And he'll sit in a room with his peers, and all the media going rush in the direction of all of the cowards and the dudes who don't even have half of the type of guys on their record. I don't know what it is about Dillian White. Like, I don't know if people are intimidated by the guy. Salute boxing God. I don't know if people are intimidated by the guy. I don't know if he's not like, I don't know if it's his blunt, straightforward attitude or whatever. But people, it seems like they just want to go out their way to just dislike everything that this man brings to the table instead of appreciate, you know what I'm saying, what he brings to the table. Because Dillian White's had a lot of good fights, man. And he's given, he's given good performances. The same people asking for White's medical proof are the same people who got ass mad about when people wanted Billy Billy Jack Saunders X-rays. Oh, it's crazy. Like, why this girl keep texting me, right? Like, this girl keep texting me and shit. She told me she want to be left alone like 30 minutes ago. And that's the thing with bitches. They tell you they want to be left alone, want to send you one-sided texts that you can't respond to, and then all in the same breath, they still texting you and shit. Get the fuck out of my face. I can't lie. I'm telling you, man, I'm going to be a single nigga for the rest of my life, man. And for all of you dudes with great wives, man, hold on to them. Hold on to them shits. What is the origin of all the hatred for Dillian White? Yeah, man, but it comes to a point to where it's like, at the same time, Chris, it's like, when do people start to identify with the fact that they have two eyes, two legs, two ears, you know what I'm saying? Two arms, 2 feet, to where you could run, grab, touch, sense of smell, hear, and think all for your goddamn self. One brain, man. Like, you got all of that shit to think for yourself. So why does everybody like go behind what Deontay Wilder say like it's law? The only people that believe that shit is them motherfuckers is eating at the soul food restaurants, chilling in the chitlin circus of the ass cracks of Alabama. You know what I mean? Like, ain't nobody following behind this dude. Like, all I'm saying is this, man. Boxing has always been a sport where you supposed to do your research on your own and draw your own conclusions. Like, imagine one of these niggas running to the Ace Moneys of the world or one of the LDBC members of the world and trying to draw their conclusion based off of boxing. You would be skull fucked. You wouldn't know what the fuck is going on because your opinion going to change every 5 seconds, man. That's why it's on you to do your own research and draw your own conclusion. I ain't never let nobody shape my opinion on how I feel about any type of boxer, bro. Facts. Facts. Don't call me. Why did you call me? Type shit, man. Like, for real. Imagine you run to one of them dudes' channel and then you think you're gonna figure out what the fuck is going on in boxing. You got to do the research on your own. That's why I beg people to do that shit, man. I beg people to watch these dudes fights and draw, you know what I'm saying, a level of appreciation. Because that way, no matter what the narrative is, you seen with your own too. You know what I mean, heard with your own too. You know what I'm saying? And no matter what they say, it can't waver your point of view on what greatness really look like. It's simple. This crop of generations flock to support the facade, not the genuine article, man. And it's a sad practice, bro. It's a sad practice because My whole business ever since I came in this shit, JD, was to let people identify with what the real is and not to, you know what I'm saying, get too comfortable with mobbing with the fake. But it just seemed like it's just, I wouldn't say traditionally, this generation of boxing, traditionally speaking, they all run with the cappers. They all run with the cappers. Still motherfucking texting my goddamn phone. Shut the fuck. I'm about like, yo, I'm real rap about to like pull the joint down like this and motherfucking like say shut the fuck up. Like for real. Like if you got mental health issues, bitch, go be crazy on your own goddamn time. Don't fuck up mine. Shit. All right, like yo, y'all know mental health is like the biggest cop out in life. Whether it's boxers, whether it's your best friend, whether it's your auntie, uncle, or whatever, mental health is the biggest cop out in life. It is an excuse for you to be a fucking lazy motherfucker to lay in your bed. It's an excuse for you to take off of a fight, not to engage in certain opposition. It's an excuse for you to have a timeout, really a vacation. I'm telling you, bro, I was born in the 80s. So for me, you couldn't talk that mental health shit. My man, your parents will whoop your ass. Told them, and shout out to those people who really do diagnose or something. No disrespect to that. But you just can't like, yo, tell me in boxing, tell me in any sport, and just tell me in life right now. The general consensus when everybody has a problem, the first thing they say is, I got mental health issues. Like, and then you just sitting there like, okay, is that it? Oh, somebody fucking on your girl? Everybody goes through that. Oh, your man done stabs you in your back? It's gonna happen. You know, you fall out with this person, it's gonna happen. Like, okay, you bankrupt? It could happen. Like shit, all money wasn't meant to be held at all times. If that was the case, we all be rich. All I'm saying is for me, and I don't care if people say I'm disingenuous or whatever. Mental health is a cop out. I don't care what nobody say. For real, Tammy. For real. Gets caught on coke, mental health issues. That's what I'm saying. Nigga do some drugs and shit and say it's a mental health issue. No, motherfucker, just say that shit was for recreational purposes. Who cares? Everybody done did something. I might not like what you like. You might not like what I like, but shit, ain't nobody angels out here, man. I just wish people stop acting like, you know what I'm saying? Like these dudes don't do shit. Like, yo, we humans, bro. We humans, bro. That's what I'm saying. Get dropped by a B-level fighter, mental health issues. Shout out to Luke Campbell. If anybody should have mental health issues, it's Luke Campbell. As many times he done ran up that hill and got smacked right back down that joint. As soon as he run up the hill, he gets smacked right back down. Motherfucker. I've had all of these opportunities and I couldn't make shit of them. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's called laying up with Bussy, mental health issue. Oh my God. Yo. Get caught with fishnets on. Look, Oscar De La Hoya didn't take that cop out when he got caught with the fishnet, the hookers, and the cocaine. He didn't take that cop out. What'd he say? What'd he say? It was a Halloween party. That motherfucker said it was a Halloween party. Yo, I'm telling you I'm lying. That nigga said, yo, he said, oh, it was a Halloween party. That's why I was dressed like that. Salute, Arlie. What's good, man? Yo, I'm just saying, man, for me, like, mental health is a straight cop-out. Stop using that shit for excuses, man. Stop using that shit to make yourself feel better about your bum-ass situation or whatever. Like, yo, mental health is a cop-out. We got niggas doing fishnet cocaine and hookers who ain't even taking them type of cop-outs. Shout out to Oscar De La Hoya for being the strong dude in the situation, man. That's what I'm saying. One punch from Luke Campbell, and this motherfucker went full on fucking he went full on goddamn it. What's the word I'm looking for? Damn, what's the word I'm looking for? More bipolar like shit. Imagine going into every conversation starting it up with, man, I had it rough. So what? That's casual. Man, come on, bro. Like facts, man. Like, yo, like if I was talking to motherfuckers and I'm like, man, oh man, I'm going through it. Or I come up in this joint right and I got my head hung low and shit. And I'm giving y'all all this melancholy, like pessimistic energy and everything like that. And then I tell you what the problem is, and you just like, all right, well, keep it pushing, motherfucker. Because at the end of the day, what can you do? What can you do? You keep it pushing. Y'all motherfuckers, y'all pacify, like, yo, they pacify these dudes every time that they say, oh, I got a mental health problem. You know what I'm saying? Tiafimo had that shit for a little while too. Like all of these dudes is soft, man. They soft. If I hear one more thing about a mental health issue, bro, it's going in your video. I promise that. I promise that it's going in your video. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's one of my favorites, man. That's one of my favorite fighters, man. Ricardo Mayorga. All I'm saying is live in your honesty. Own whether you're an asshole or own whether, you know what I'm saying, you try to be angelic. All I'm saying is own all aspects of those things. There's nothing wrong with it because at the end of the day, everybody got a vice. Everybody got a problem. Everybody, man, look, you know what I'm saying? Some people addicted to sex. Some people addicted to drugs. Some people addicted to money. Some people just addicted to, making people feel bad as shit. Like, I don't know, but whatever it is, just own that shit, bro. I'm tired of like these dudes act like they infallible and shit. And if you do catch them in a foul, they all need what is it? They all need mental rehabilitation centers and shit like that. These are facts. These are facts. So if you're not feeling no pressure, how you gonna be a fighter then? How you gonna be a fighter if you conform to pressure? Like, come on, bro. Come on, bro. Like, cut the crap. If you can't deal with pressure, and you a sucker. You shouldn't be a fighter. Like for real. Like this nigga Evander Holyfield got his whole ear bitten off. He got his whole ear bitten off. Mike Tyson done bit off niggas' ears and all types of shit, bro. That nigga had to do like real prison time on Rikers Island, one of the toughest institutions in North America, if not the most corrupt. The goddamn COs will pass out, man, no different than DC and Baltimore jail system. Man, COs just straight pass out raises like nothing to the other side. Like, and what are y'all complaining about? With your oatmeal soggy? How do you see Haney versus Diaz going? Haney gonna knock him out. That's a fight where Haney gonna knock him out. What y'all think? I think Haney knocks him out. And the reason I see Haney knocking him out because JoJo Diaz don't have a necessarily like one thing that he does good. It's come forward. Let me put it forth a lot of pressure and hopefully, we're gonna translate this shit into some points. But I see Devin Haney knocking that dude out. You know what I mean? He was never a big guy anyway. And let's be honest, JoJo done campaigned at what? From 120 to 126. Now you trying to translate to, your success to 130 because, Gary Russell done whooped on your ass and you couldn't get the success you needed at, 130 to 126 area. So this is what I'm saying. I just think that Devin Haney is too superior of a boxer. He's got to do too much coming forward and thudding forward, as I like to say. He got to thud forward too much. And basically what I say thud forward is you just aimlessly and just blindly and recklessly just coming forward with like no real game plan of attack. It's high guard, try to get in there and just be rough. Well, you can't do that with a person with an IQ like that. And he longer than you, faster than you, got better footwork than you, sees shit coming a mile away. I just see him getting knocked out. And if there was ever a time that somebody wanted to knock somebody out, oh, you best believe this is Devin Haney want to knock JoJo Diaz out. And it's just one more notch underneath the record. You know what I'm saying? And I just want to see him just keep embracing and taking on fights like this. Because at the end of the day, if Devin Haney keeps stacking on these type of fights, what are you gonna say? What are people gonna say? All I'm saying is I know who the kid is, man. I'm fully invested in knowing who that kid is, man. I ain't doing all the bubblegum shit these other dudes are doing and just hating because it benefits your platform at the time. Fuck all that. Haney, in my eyes, is the best, the most superior fighter at 135 pounds. It's from a skills perspective. And usually it's the people who have an inferiority complex, so they have to bring others down to their level. So no one is special. Basically, it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's they benefit from that goofball shit. JoJo can cause Haney some issues. What surprised me in the Fortuna fight was that he was able to get respect. JoJo has a bit of pot. Man, shit. Hey, man, him getting respect from Fortuna is different than getting respect from Devin. That's even if you can touch Devin. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, Fortuna got, you know what I'm saying, sparked out by niggas like Jason Sosa. You know what I mean? Like, Jason Sosa is trash. You know what I mean? So for me, it's like, yo, like Devin not gonna let you touch him like that. Sometimes I think some of these guys just saying about having mental health issues because they say about it is just as though they got a new pair of Jordans. Like, yo, it's like, yo, like I'm telling you, these dudes only perpetuate having mental health issues solely so they can get out of situations, man. That's it. That's it. No, none of these motherfuckers really have the problems that they say they had. Because believe it or not, a lot of these dudes came up comfortable. You can't tell me like, yo, the gym ain't like it used to be back in the day where a lot of misfits come up in the gym and they come up. Nah, a lot of these motherfuckers get up in the gym, man. They coming from good families that want to keep them busy, man, from people that love them, right or wrong. They coming from people that love them, that want to keep them busy, that want to make sure they out the street and want to make sure that they know that their sons/daughters is in safe places, man. So they start at the gym. Like a lot of these dudes is not coming from real fucked up situations like they claiming, man. They not, man. I ain't seeing it. And if they is, man, somebody show me something different. Like for real. It's just like, yo, like when people bigged up Fortuna and they bigged up Linares and all of that shit, and all of them dudes at 135 pounds, I'm like, okay, them are dudes y'all really want to see them fight. Like that's gonna be the measuring stick for y'all. Man, them easy fights, man. I never respected Fortuna other than the fact that he was a world champion. Okay, I give him his respect for that. But it's just like, man, like, yo, you are who you are. And when I see you reach a ceiling with a certain level of fighter, it's just like, man, that's just where you at with me. I don't see no more, no less. Two hands supporting Haney and supporting Shakur is gonna bring out the false narrative that he only supports black fighters. Well, so be it. They can feel like that. I feel like a lot of these niggas only support Latino fighters. And even when they in lies, they don't step up. And I know I ain't gonna say nobody name, but they are who they are. I feel like a lot of these dudes only support Latino fighters. Shit. Any time in defense on possibilities, effective use of the jab would take the fight away from JoJo. I mean, shit, man. Look, at the end of the day, man, you can't underestimate the fighter who, you know what I'm saying, who don't got shit to lose, man. For real. I've seen the tiniest fighters come out and look like the strongest fighters in certain evenings. I'm seeing some of the weakest guy knockouts who's supposed to be some of the biggest guys or whatever. At the end of the day, y'all don't see enough of motherfuckers to draw your conclusions on how strong you think they are or not. And then even if you look at, you know what I'm saying, Jorge Linares and his multi-weight run or whatever, like who the fuck was he? Like that's what I'm saying, man. A lot of these dudes is getting more credit and lending more credit than what the fuck they really doing in the opposition they really fighting. I don't care if a motherfucker can't knock you out. I don't give a fuck if a nigga don't go 12 rounds knocking you out or not. Did he beat the shit out you? That's the question. He went 12 rounds beating the shit out you. End of discussion. Why this is boxing? Why is so much emphasis on the knockout? That's what Teofimo does great. Devin Haney was never a knockout artist. So why are people looking for it like that? That's the shit I be talking about. Like, yo, niggas don't even appreciate the science no more. You're looking for the knockout. And then if dude don't knock him out, hey, let's criticize him for not getting a knockout. But let's not talk about the fact that he was beating the dog shit out these niggas for 12 rounds at a time. He's going to have to soften niggas up to get knockouts, period. In the same way Sugar Ray had to do it. Motherfuckers love Sugar Ray, right? I'm just saying. Motherfuckers love Pernell Whitaker. He wasn't no knockout artist. So it's just funny to me how people put all this emphasis on who's supposed to be a knockout artist and who's not. No, who's supposed to be a more intellectual, more superior boxer. That's what I focus on. You know what I'm saying? Knockouts come, they come. If they don't, they don't. Here's another thing. If you're on that level, knockouts aren't going to come like that. If you fighting a certain type of people. Motherfucker, I mean, shit, did Teofimo knock Lomachenko out? That motherfucker's 126, 30-pound fighter soaking wet. Teofimo couldn't knock him out. And for real, there was spots where Teofimo looked like he could have got, you know what I mean? Where he looked like Glass Joe in the situation. Because I don't know Lomachenko to be the strongest fighter either. All I'm saying is it's appreciated from one and it's not appreciated from the other. So at the end of the day, it's like, what are we focusing on in the boxing world? Is boxing based on just solely the knockout, or is it based on sensationalizing performances? Because if you go, all I'm saying is drag a nigga and beat him up. If you beat him up and they can't touch you, it's frowned upon. But if you go freaking 8 rounds and then you get knocked down and then you jump back up and then you manage to make something out of a situation of urgency, let's clap that shit up. It makes no sense to me. I don't know, man. I don't know, man. That's why it's like, yo, it's like that's like people trying to take away from Shakur Stevenson performance. Shakur boxed Jamel Herring's head off in the toughest fight in the biggest night of his career. He went out there and he performed and he boxed this dude's whole head off. But you want to know people talking about a premature stoppage. Was it really premature? Because I saw a guy who couldn't defend himself from 2 rounds before that. He couldn't defend himself. He couldn't mount an offense, and he visibly looked hurt. And Bo Mack was trying to stay in his ear to bring this man back to life. That's what I saw. So it's just like, yo, like, what are we doing? Like, yo, the sport never falls on, it never falls on like, yo, we just got one solid conclusion on what happened. Of course, people see certain things, but it's evident. It's evident. It's evident when a dude outshines you, shuts you out. Why is it that shit gets frowned upon? And I'm not saying that's you, George. I'm just saying everybody do this shit. Everybody do this shit. Oh, he can't knock this person out. He can't knock that person out. It's never his gift. It's never his gift. That motherfucking jab, and that's what I'm saying. People can't tell me that a jab, it's crazy. It's crazy that a fucking jab could be that exciting. It's crazy that jabs and hooks around the guard could be so exciting and look so dominating in one fight to where dude don't even have to do nothing else. He just jabbing the shit out you, all setting your time, beating the holy hell out you. People can't see that. Like, yo, like at the end of the day, man, look, man, I'm trying to run out in the rain with an umbrella and not get wet. You know what I'm saying? Like, what y'all want Jamel to be like, have a lower, like, cause you know, everybody clamor for Wilder to get the fight stoppage, right? They, you know, Mark Breland saved his life. Mark Breland saved his right. Mark Breland saved his life, right? But why coming to Jamel Herring, that was a premature stoppage when clearly that dude was on the verge of possibly having some serious damage done neurologically to him. There was nothing he could do in that fight. Defenseless, all the heart in the world. But shit, if you getting fucked up, you getting fucked up in my eyes, man. Say that shit for another day, man. You did all you could, but just unfortunately, there's a level. And when it come to that kid, He just levels above you. What against JoJo? Man, JoJo, man, watch what I tell y'all, man. Look, man, I take bets. JoJo getting knocked out. I take friendly bets. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just gonna be what people just gonna witness is, and understandably so, is you're gonna witness a master class of boxing. You know what I'm saying? And all in all, you're just gonna witness a dude get beat up on the level of Gary Russell, but 10 times worse. But at the end of it, you know what I'm saying? There's going to come a knockout. Watch what I tell you. He can't knock nobody out, and then people fail to realize too. The nigga just had hand surgery. His whole dominant hand was fucked up. He just came off of hand surgery, and then people acting like this dude's supposed to be this stone cold knockout artist. That was supposed to be an extremely difficult fight for Shakur prior to the first bell. Kid has no power talk, never been in a real fight talk. And that's what I'm saying. And what did he do? He went out there and made the motherfuckers look worse on his toughest night. So what did that say about an individual, man? If he making the best fighter is in his career look fucking like the worst fighter to ever walk the face of the earth in the ring, like dog, it says a lot about your skill set. And all that does is it all sets the rest of the boxing community where it's just like, hey man, I don't want those problems. That's what I'm saying. Stevenson showed dog. He fought him in the clinch. He fought him in the phone booth. He never got off his dominant foot, and he just beat him and broke him down all night while staying dominant, backing the bigger guy down, really, really beating on him. He gave him a first-class beating, man. It was a first-class beating. Mad Chad salute. Yeah, Barry Sanders type running backs, and now Walter Payton type running back. Different styles, absolutely. You got the Adrian Petersons of the world, and then you got the Mike Allstotts of the world. You got the Jerome Bettises of the world. Then you got the Emmitt Smiths of the world. Like, come on, man. Like, this is the norm. Like, like you got brawlers, and then you got boxers, man. At the end of the day, boxer punches, all of the above. But it seems like the only criticism that is, all the criticism is levied to the boxers, man. Like the boxers are less of. No, look, you will be surprised. I guarantee you, if these dudes jumped in the ring with more of these slick counter-defensive boxes and stuff like that, you would see a lot of these dudes look degular on a consistent basis, get fully emasculated, and then you would appreciate the signs more. Because, like I'm telling you, there ain't nothing none of that Mexican warrior style can do to what Shakur Stevenson and Devin Haney bring to the table. I'm sorry. Just because you get punched in your face and you walk into 1,000 punches don't translate to great boxing for me. I'm sorry. Y'all motherfuckers is limited, period. All around the board, you limited. And that ain't no disrespect to nobody. It's just what it is. I can't give you attribute. I can't put attributes where they ain't. I can't put talent to where it's not. If you limited, you limited. And y'all motherfuckers is gonna stay in a limited, you gonna stay fighting limited fighters because you have a limited skill set. Why don't we call it for what it is? The Mexican style is solely a limited fighting style that you appreciate because you watch motherfuckers just sock the shit out of each other until they dump. But it's a limited fighting style that's constantly making sure they stay away from a fighting style who got A, B, C, D type, you know what I mean? D type tools, man. You just limited. I ain't gonna sit up here like, yo, I'm not sugarcoating shit for no community no more. Have all the pride you want in your community, and that's cool. But understand that your niggas is limited, dog. That's it. And that's not saying all of them, because Virgil Ortiz don't fight like that. You know what I'm saying? Virgil Ortiz is one of the ones that's different. You know what I mean? That's not limited, that brings a lot of boxer puncher qualities to the table. Smart enough to, you know what I'm saying, move his head off the line a little bit. Could be a lot better at it. Canelo, another one of them. Shit, Canelo obviously don't like getting punched in the head. So he took his limitations and he broadened his skill set based off of looking horrible against Floyd. Horrible. Pro boxing is about entertainment. Casual fans aren't interested in amateur boxing. I mean, casual fans ain't interested in boxing anyway. What are you saying? Pro boxing is about entertainment, but pro boxing is about the skill set. So because, because a motherfucker just supposed to be limited based on or fight limited based upon fans that have no interest in the sport whatsoever, considering that American boxing is like ranked number 16. I believe it was behind badminton. So what are we saying that we're blaming? Are we saying that we're blaming where boxing is and the trajectory of boxing based on technique? Because that's all I'm taking away from what you're saying. And I don't know how else to slice it unless you want to elaborate, make it different for me. But are we saying that boxers are supposed to give up certain skills to make niggas happy? This is the stupidest shit I ever heard. Like, who does that? What generates $1 million paydays? You want to know what generates what? What, standing there getting punched in your face generates $1 million paydays? Well, tell that to, you know what I'm saying, the first dude to break into the 100 millions, Sugar Ray Leonard. You sound dumb as shit right now. I'm just saying. That's just my personal opinion, though. Yours, you know what I'm saying, you might believe that. I just don't. What casual fans pay attention to boxing? Because I do believe that they really don't. They really don't. The only casual fans that really pay attention to the sport is the heavyweight division. Sugar Ray Leonard exemplifies skill. Sugar Ray Leonard is the benchmark for skill. You can't sit up there and say that in one part that you're leaving out while you're sitting up there talking about niggas get punched in the face is the way that the sport has to move. You're talking about him being on the other end of another great fighter. One great fighter can't make the situation. It takes two great fighters to make a great fight. He fought Hearns and he fought Hagler. That was the best fighting the best. And that's another thing that you're alluding to. So if anything, let's get to that. And then maybe we'll get to some asses and seats, because the only reason asses aren't in seats in the boxing world is because people aren't willing to fight who they need to fight. That's the reason why asses aren't in seats. At the end of the day, if you make the right, because I do believe when Virgil Ortiz versus Mo Hooker, for as short as it was, that was an extremely explosive fight. Two different styles. There's several fights. There's several great fights with opposing styles. But the thing is the best motherfuckers need to fight the best motherfuckers. Then you're gonna get the best outcome in the ring. It ain't based upon somebody fucking fighting with one hand tied behind their back. That's what sells tickets. That's the stupidest shit I've ever heard. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Ray Charles is gonna pick Tank to knock Rolly ass all the way out. You know what I'm saying? That's a fact. That's a fact. And that's exactly why I pointed to Virgil. You know what I mean? But I'm not gonna have somebody sit up here and try to tell me that, sock 'em bopping robots is what sells tickets. It fucking don't. Cause motherfucking you could go, if that's the case, shit. Motherfuckers stand in their neighborhood and watch street fights all day. Motherfuckers don't come to boxing just to watch sloppy ass limited fights, dog. For real, dog. Like, nobody does that. The people don't appreciate boxing for that reason, bruh. Speed, precision, technique, power, all of those things are the beneficiaries, are beneficial to what moves tickets, man. Yeah, guys like Gotti and Ward made millions with limited skills. Like we talking about Gotti versus Ward. We're talking about one of the best trilogies in boxing, based off of the fact that those were two limited fighters. But how many case studies are you going to go to making millions? And what time was this in? Since we want to talk about Gotti and Ward, you can't refer to two limited ass fighters in this era making multi-millions of dollars. You're referring to an era when the best fought the best, regardless of what you're saying right now. So you just answering my question. Like you're just basically agreeing with me, regardless of whatever you're saying. You can find one or two limited fighters, but you're going back to an era where competition didn't avoid other competition. Shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, look, Pavlik versus Taylor, one of the most exciting fights in the world. You don't even have to put, look, them back then, you didn't even have to put major marketing behind those fights. People were coming out regardless because of the business model was the same on a consistent level. You consistently got great fighters fighting great fighters, man. Period. It was easy to sell tickets then. Then what happened? The opposition falls off. So the opposition falls off. The great spectacles is going to fall off. It ain't bad, man. Look, you're not going to tell me, you know what I'm saying, ticket sales is based on limited fighters. That's the stupidest shit in the world, bro. For real. AJ Spade, aka Alex Salute. Yeah. But Corrales versus Castillo, are you kidding me? Shit. Well, I could point to Pretty Boy Floyd versus Castillo, or I could point to Pretty Boy Floyd versus Corrales, and that was skill at its highest fucking level. And people appreciated that too, and that filled seats. But once again, it was a different level of opposition. It was a different level in the talent pool, and there was a lot of great fighters all around the board. You can't point in that direction when you talk about today's fights, for real, for real. And if we're going to talk to anything, let's talk about coaches, let's talk about fans, and let's talk about fan interest and promotional interest alike, going out their way to devalue technique. You devaluing your own fucking sport. So at the end of the day, if you shitting on technique, if you're going to shit on technique and act like, you know what I'm saying, sloppy fighters is the only thing to move tickets, oh my God, please, I would like to go a whole year while we watch nothing but sloppy ass Mexican fights, for real, or whatever. Anybody that don't have no technique, and y'all tell me how great the sport is going to do. Tell me. For real. Because all of the great faces of boxing, I do believe they had a skill set. Just somebody tell me how sloppy, limited fighters who are fucking duds is going to translate to great boxing. And how many sloppy, limited fighters is out there is going to move the needle, and that's what fans really want, because I don't know any fans that really want boxing right now, to be perfectly honest. And these are the facts. Boxing ain't no popular sport. Come on now. Imagine if this was the 90s or the 80s and YouTube was popping right now and we was talking boxing. Yo, everybody would have 2 million subscriber channels, 5 million subscriber channels, and all of that shit. Motherfuckers don't got it because boxing has been in the fucking dumps. And it's not a popular sport. And it's a reason why they call it the sweet science. That's what I'm saying, man. But motherfuckers want to tell you that just punching each other in the face is what does it. It's what does it for casual interest. Fuck no, man. Like, look, dog, why do people pay attention to Vasily Lomachenko? And Vasily Lomachenko don't really move tickets like that, but why do they like him? They like his ability, like, yo, he be on some Matrix shit, the way he move around the ring, the way he counter pivots, the way, you know, he puts punches together, the way he make people look bad. That's what make boxing great. But if you just going in there, who watching that shit? Anybody could watch these motherfuckers like, yo, I ain't coming to watch a swimming match. You feel me? You coming to watch a motherfucker parry, get off, roll, counter, hook back, show great footwork, bow low, shift the feet work. Like, yo, why do motherfuckers love Ali? He brought a level of talent, talent, pizzazz, talk the right shit, and backed it up. So I'm saying, why niggas love Purnell? Slick as shit. He wasn't knocking nobody out for real, for real. Slick as a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, you know, crack made him kick his mom out of the house, but sensational fighter. Tito Trinidad, Winky Wright, Southpaw, all of these dudes, Jermaine Taylor. Like, come on, man. Sugar Shane Mosley. Man, who else? Let's keep going down the line. Marvin Hagler, Tommy Hitman Hearns, Wilfred Benitez, Alexis Aguayo, Terry Norris, Aaron Pryor. All of them dudes had what? Skill set. Skill set. Yo, when you in a fight, you're gonna show one or two things. Sometimes you're gonna have to, Sean, when you're in a great fight, one or two things is gonna happen. When it becomes a slobber knocker, you're gonna do one or two things. In fatigue, you're not thinking that, you're not thinking in your worst moments about, your technique being as sound as possible. When it comes to where it feel like it's some life or death shit and you in a brawl, you going brawl. But ultimately, the sport has always been loved by the technicians in the sport. Motherfuckers don't love the sport because it's, it's some sloppy shit thrown on your goddamn menu. Hell no. We appreciate the sport because we appreciate the high tech. We appreciate the technique, the technical prowess. We appreciate the speed. We appreciate ferocity, and all of those things go hand in hand with the sport. But the basis of the sport is all fundamentally found in the techniques and those technical operators that can operate well within it, bro. And how the hell was Ali Frazier 3 not a skill fight, though? That's why I'm lost, man. I don't know who I'm talking to right now, man, but salute to you, and you commenting. We just gonna be disagreeing like a motherfucker, dog. I'm not gonna push that narrative. I ain't gonna let no nigga push that narrative on my platform. It ain't happening, man. Hey, Chris, I think Rob Guerrero might start too, because it's like, why not have AJ come to your gym? Must be a humbling experience. Yo, like I said, bro, I put out a tweet like last week. I said the best person for Anthony Joshua, his road to success, and you know what I'm saying, it came like mighty, you know what I'm saying? It was from left field, and people might think I'm crazy or whatever, but I truly believe in every sense of the word, the best person for Anthony Joshua to get them belts back is if he get with Antonio Tarver. I feel like Antonio Tarver would be the best person for the job. And just listening to Antonio Tarver in interviews, the type of fighter, you know what I'm saying, Tarver was, and just listening to how, he would have broke the Anthony Joshua down and built him back up for the second fight, and listening to him and every other one of his interviews, man, the dude got the mind and everything to make Anthony Joshua a monster. I feel like them niggas would be boxing games new 18. I would really like to see Anthony Joshua and the Magic Man Tarver come together, you know what I'm saying, and put that work in. I think Anthony Joshua could get them belts back, and I think it will birth a new great tandem in boxing. There's always going to be situations where boxers are shells of themselves. There's always going to be situations when you go through wars where boxers don't come with the same thing. But I would have to say this, shit, when Tommy Hitman Hearns was punch drunk for several years, for the several years he continued to keep competing, did he not go out there and get behind his skill set? When Marvin Hagler and freaking Sugar Ray met when they were old as hell, did they not get behind their skill set? And just like a bunch of other guys, at the end of the day, it's the last thing to leave you. It's like this. If you've ever gotten on a bicycle, are you just going to forget to ride it? No. You're going to go back to your foundations on what got you pedaling, what kept you coasting down that road. Everybody's going to lean back on their foundation. At the end of the day, when it comes to boxing, people lean on their foundation, they lean on their fundamentals, they lean on their skill set. Nobody's just going out there to just stand there and just be like, hey, you punched me in the face, guy. I'm going to punch you in the face, guy. You know what I'm saying? Like hard and all of that shit go hand in hand. But there's never been an abandonment on skill set, especially not from no damn Muhammad Ali. And if you talk about Joe Frazier always used meticulous bully pressure, shoulder shifted angles coming on the inside, trying to find a way to peekaboo and swing that hook over the top or underneath the rib cage. So those guys were hella technicians themselves, man. I'm just saying, I just don't. I'm not really one to like. I've never been the one, and anybody who been with me for a long time on this channel, y'all know the one thing that Two Hands is never going to scoff at, and the one thing I'm always going to go to bat for is the skill set in the sport and how much skill and level of opposition is the one thing that's going to be the the one thing that's most beneficial to the succession of the sport. If we take the achievements away from existing Hall of Fame fighters as the benchmark of being Hall of Fame, who out of today's fighter is Hall of Fame? That's a great fucking question, man. That's a great fucking question. Don't ask me. I don't know where dude from either, man. But here's the thing. That's my point. It's easy to praise old fighters while give no respect to all of the great fighters out here today. That's the most asinine shit you ever said, because first you just said that, it takes limited skill set to move casual numbers. I've showed several reasons why that's not the case and showed you that boxing is like ranked number 16 in America right now, when it was literally one of the biggest sports in the world. And you could go back and look at several Sugar Ray cards and all of that shit, where these dudes was filling up stadiums on Wednesday, Tuesday nights and shit like that. So for you to say the great fighters of the day, who are the great fighters of the day? And if we're talking about the great fighters of the day, I mean, if we're talking about, the 8th division world champion like Manny Pacquiao, you can't say he didn't bring skill set to the table. You can't say, if you want to consider Canelo great, which I don't consider him great, I feel like he's a good fighter. You know what I mean? A great fight. He has a great skill set, but at the end of the day, he has a skill set. And he learned from taking an ass whipping by one of the most technically, defensively sound fighters that ever walked the face of the earth, who's garnered bigger wages than any other fighter, that's ever walked the face of the earth. So at the end of the day, where are you talking about this lackluster skill and all of this appeal? Because it makes no sense. Because realistically, if you want anything on par with the way that it used to be, okay, here's the thing. If I was to sit here and I'm talking about today's fighters, and I'm talking about the fighters of the old, and we compare ticket sales, we compare don't even get me started on Jack Dempsey alone. Jack Dempsey, this motherfucker used to have fights in the middle of Maine, and 1 million people would just pull up off word of mouth, watching this shit on the radio, and they hearing about it on the radio in their car to go watch them all or get busy. So niggas can't talk to me about what boxing is today and how it sells. Especially when you've got a proven pattern that shows that they moved more tickets. It was on national television, it was on national TV a lot more, and people paid way more attention to boxing than they do now. So what does that tell you about the practice of boxing then compared to the practice of boxing now? Clearly, they are missing the fucking ball on certain things, because if generations later, or if decade after decade, it's increasingly getting worse, then what would that tell you? That clearly the old business model and the skill set of those fighters who were there before you, basically that they had an understanding on what they needed to do to move the needle, and these motherfuckers don't. So I would go back to the great fighters of the old and say, okay, if we want boxing's greatness restored, then in a lot of ways you would have to restore those great elements of what made boxing great then, correct? I'm just saying. Because you don't have anything to look forward to today that could even compare to what boxers did back then. You don't. And I'm sorry. When the UFC is selling tickets and boxing can't barely compete with the UFC, and what is the one thing that the UFC does that boxing don't do? The UFC have their best fighters fight their best fighters. And they sell tickets. Boxing doesn't do that, and they're not selling tickets. So what does that tell you about the business model? Clearly, motherfuckers need to get back to fighting top opposition and having top technicians operate well within the four corners of honesty. So I'm just saying, back then, it was shit. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. But clearly, a lot of things are broken in boxing right now. He definitely said Ali versus Frazier 3 wasn't a skill fight. Shakur Stevenson going take Oscar Valdez down memory lane for Canelo. Facts. And they're going to do everything in their power to keep Shakur Stevenson away from Oscar Valdez because they don't want him to look regular. But I bet if I bet after the fight, Oscar Valdez would say this, just like Abel, you know what I'm saying? Just like Abel Sanchez and any other hating, you know what I'm saying? Low key, you know what I mean? Low key racist dude in the game. And all he did was run. All he did was run from me all night. Man, look at your face. He said Conceição was running from him. Did y'all not see his face? That's always their excuse when they get outclassed by slick fighters, man. These dudes run. Fuck out of here with that shit, man. See, you're talking about the UFC as a monopoly that underpays their fighters. What does that have to do with the fact? Who sells more tickets? Who had to push their fight back based on what the UFC was doing? The biggest fighter in boxing had to push his fight back by a damn near an hour for Nate Diaz and Jorge Masvidal for a BMF title, a title that ain't even real. So you can talk about the UFC being a monopoly, but you completely want to be dismissive of all of the corruption in boxing and all of the individuals who get robbed week by week, these fake ass sanctioning fees, all of these freaking figment of imagination titles and shit from the freaking from the Mayan down to the Pearl. We can talk about all of that shit because boxing got it too. But what's the one thing that you can't do? You can talk about that, but it don't negate the fact that they have the best fighters fighting the best, and that's why they sell tickets, and that's why they're beating boxing's ass. Boxing has gotten away from those aspects, and that's why boxing isn't selling tickets, and they're sucking ass. It has nothing to do with the point. It has nothing to do with the point. And maybe boxing should be running themselves the same way because a lot of dudes getting paid way more than what they should for lackluster performances and not doing nothing at all. And a lot of these dudes don't even get paid like that in boxing for real, for real. What you're saying, it doesn't matter. I don't care how global boxing is. I mean, I do believe that the UFC is pretty much global anyway. Fighters come from all over the world. They don't necessarily have to fight for UFC. They can fight for one championship. They can fight for other organizations as well. So don't sit up there and act like you're talking about a whole bunch of shit that's frivolous to the point. Competition is what makes the world go round. They don't got nothing to do. I don't give a fuck what they're getting paid. And if those dudes have finance, they have financial advisors, they have managers, they have agents, and all of these things supposed to keep that intact. So if you're willing to fight for pennies, hey, that's on you. Fight for fucking pennies. You're trying to argue, you trying to step around the fact. But the fact is, they winning, and boxing can't compete with them when it comes to their fight nights. I'm just saying. And there's only one person that really can. So at the end of the day, it matters. It don't matter if it's a monopoly or not a monopoly or whatever. The fact that boxing is globally bigger on all scales and it still can't compete to a younger, more premature business, then what does that say to you? Clearly, boxing is missing it somewhere, but you would say it takes guys with their hands tied behind their back and a lackluster skill set to move the sport, correct? Hey, man. I mean, listen, man, I guess we all can tap dance around, you know what I'm saying, just being like, hey, I'm wrong, when, you know what I'm saying, you know what I mean, because niggas just gotta be right about everything. Canelo going against the UFC again on November 6th. Yo, what's the November 6th fight? That ain't Usman versus Covington, is it? Because I don't care what's coming on that day. I'm watching Usman versus Covington. On my life. I knew Floyd wouldn't fight us toe-to-toe. That's all they ever say every time they get their ass whooped. Is somebody running. Well, you kind of were pushing non-skill. I mean, that's kind of been, you know what I mean, your go-to since you've been in here. I mean, because, I mean, you know, you do type, right? And people read these things. So, I mean, we can go back and look at what you were saying. So that's definitely the point that you were pushing. Like I said, man, I mean, it is what it is. You know, you believe that. I mean, I'm just one who just doesn't. Oh yeah, they definitely going. Look, Canelo going to lose out bad that night. Canelo going to lose out bad that night. If it come down to Usman versus Covington versus Plant versus Canelo, when everybody know Caleb Plant going to get washed, who the hell is going to pick Canelo and Plant over Usman and Covington, man? Come on, man. That's the biggest. That's the to me. That's the biggest fight this year, for real. Sorry, Canelo, but you ain't getting my viewership. Hey, man, you'll be watching Canelo. You'll be watching Canelo. But the fact of the matter is, Canelo's gonna knock that dude out in 5 rounds or less. That's predictive programming. He might be going Canelo. You might be waiting for Canelo to go on while we watching Usman and Covington go on at the right time. I love boxing, but at the end of the day, which fight are you going to watch? The fight that's really a 50-50 fight, or you going to watch a fight the way you know dude going to get his ass whooped, man, who ain't never fought nobody but Vincent Feigenbooty, Mike Lee, who's never won anything but an Air Force title, and goddamn calling Jose Utakagi a boogeyman. The same dude who had problems with Andre Durrell. Like, is this what we're doing? Is this what we're doing? Like, come on, guys. And like, yo, Covington versus Usman is gonna do every bit of $750,000 to $1.25 million pay-per-view buys, man. Excitement, you know what I mean? A lot of smoke behind it. Two fighters at the top of their class. Great promotion. Man, Nello versus Plant don't stand a chance. And there's a reason why the UFC doesn't have a problem with putting on these fights on the same day consistently, because they letting you know at this point we run y'all motherfuckers. We run y'all motherfuckers. Ain't nothing y'all can put together unless it's Anthony Joshua going to be able to compete with us. Nothing. There was nothing boxing could put together. The only thing boxing could have put together to compete with what the UFC has going on is would have been Deontay Wilder versus Anthony Joshua. If those dudes were still undefeated and that fight really would have came off, oh my God, that shit would have, that shit, like, UFC wouldn't have been able to cut on their lights that night. They might as well just keep their lights off, pack it up, you know what I'm saying? Pull down the security doors and just go ahead and just tune into the fight, because you already know anything they did, it wouldn't have touched that shit. But that's heavyweight boxing, though. Yeah, that's a fact. They pushed that joint back on behalf of Jorge Masvidal and Nate Diaz because they couldn't compete. Last they locked up Usman and Covington, tried to body each other. Man, bro, them niggas went to war, and you know they hate each other. There ain't nothing fake about that shit there, Mr. T. That's what make that shit so awesome. You know they hate each other. You know it's bad blood, and you know they want all of the funk. So, like, is it? Look, man, it ain't hard to tell who gonna tune into what. I'm sorry, I'm not spending my money on Plant versus Canelo. Who would? Who spends their money on fights that you know a motherfucker's gonna get their ass whooped? When Canelo fights somebody with a pulse, I'm gonna pay attention. How about that? And I don't care. Take it how you want to take it. But he don't fight nobody. He don't. So until he fights somebody, I feel like he has an opportunity of really losing, then I'll maybe pay attention when I know it's a 50-50 fight. But this ain't it for me. And it's not something that I'm paying attention to, because what am I benefiting from watching that shit? Seeing Canelo do what Canelo do to fucking BC level opponents all the time, just beat their ass, bums with belts. But you won't fight David Benavidez, you won't fight goddamn Dimitri Bivol, but you'll fight everybody else though. You won't fight Andre. It's funny to me how Andre, there's this consistent narrative, but Andre's a horrible fighter. But what does that say about Jamal Charlo? Because he ain't fought nobody either. Is he not a horrible fighter? While he going life and death with who? Who did he just go life and death with? Hey, defend it all you want, but facts are facts. Is Jamal Charlo that much more of a credible fighter than Demetrius Andrade to where you can duck him, but offer Charlo an 8-figure offer? Is Jamal Charlo a great fighter? He's not a horrible fighter. I do believe he just fought Juan Montiel and went life or death with dude, and he put him on stanky legs. But Demetrius Andrade is a horrible fighter, and that was a damn good fight against him and Liam Williams, if you ask me. But you'll never fight Andre because he's supposedly a horrible fighter. You won't fight David Benavidez because he's Mexican. Do y'all hear this shit? Do y'all hear the shit that's coming out of my mouth? You won't fight Andre because he's a horrible fighter. You won't fight David Benavidez because he's a Mexican. And this is the nigga y'all champion for? The nigga that's got 5 catch weights, who's come up short in all of his biggest fights. That's your favorite pound for pound fighter? The fuck out of here. Don't even compare what Usyk did with what Canelo's done, because Canelo ain't did none of that shit. He ain't did none of that shit. So don't even try to even put him in the position with the true pound for pound number one, Alexander Usyk. Alexander Usyk ain't never picked and choose. Alexander Usyk, how many catch weights he got in his career? Oh, that's right. He was the one playing catch up in the weight. He wasn't putting them on catch weights. When he fought, I mean, look, when he fought Gennady Golovkin, he didn't even fight Gennady Golovkin at his natural weight. He fought him at 155 pounds in some ghost division that him and Casper the fucking Friendly Ghost created. So you won't fight Mexicans. You won't fight Andre because he's a horrible born fighter, but you got an 8-figure offer for Jamal Charlo. I'm just saying, help it make sense. Help it make sense. You know, they still Benavidez title for being overweight, but let Oscar Valdez keep his for a banned substance. Help it make sense. Help it make sense. Help it make sense. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Hope it makes sense. Niggas don't want to hear the truth, man. Look, you can champion for that dude all day long, but the fact is he got his ass beat by Floyd. He came up short. When he fought Laura, you know what I'm saying, they gave that man a 117 to 110 card. Ray Charles and every other fucking Special Olympic student that's blind in his eyes and can barely see, even though that's a goddamn lie. You know what I'm saying? Austin Trout, you know what I mean? He didn't win that fight to me. You know what I'm saying? And then the first Triple G fight, you came up short. Against Floyd, you came up short. You known to have a ghost division and hella catch weights. That you don't fight Mexican fighters. You won't fight Andre because he's born, but we know that you fucking skirted around him from 154 and 160 pounds. All I'm saying is, help it make sense. But people will argue it down all day. He fought Callum Smith on a 5-week notice. They just slid the WBC title and threw that thing right up in there. Just took David's shit. But hey, Oscar Valdez can keep his though, right? Hey, man, help it make sense. Nobody is watching that fight on November 6th. And the difference here is nobody can tell me that undisputed run at 168 pounds that Canelo went on is something that you can respect, because the talent was not there. I'm sorry. He's too damn good for a goddamn bum-ass Callum Smith. He's too damn good for a bum-ass Billy Joe who don't take nothing serious, man. Dude got to fight some real opposition out this joint, man. Instead of every time he fight him, he get beaten. The cards beat him, man. Hey, who's to blame the WBC for Oscar Valdez, Sean? Since nobody can blame, since can't nobody blame David for itself, then who do we blame for Oscar Valdez getting to keep his title? Hope that makes sense. Since there's nobody to blame but David, how does Oscar Valdez get to keep his title for testing dirty for a banned substance? Since that's what you want to do, since you want to go that route. See, it's just so funny how we pick and choose. It's so funny how we pick and choose, finger fucking like a motherfucker, man. Niggas is cornballs when it come to this boxing shit, bro. Niggas be cornballs when it come to this boxing shit because niggas don't want to call that shit for real. You'll strip a man for being what? A pound or two overweight, but you'll let another dude keep his for a banned substance and then slide his belt in on behalf of Callum Smith? Why do you think they do that? Why you think they do that? Why you think they do that? Name, but it make, so what you're saying, so this dude is telling me, name one fat guy on the scale in history who kept his title, but you mean to tell me, so what, I'm just supposed to be like, well, fuck it, you know, all of the dudes who test dirty for banned substances, I can name all of the dudes with titles who was able to keep theirs. So testing dirty for drugs is more of a reason you should keep your title, but a guy being a pound or two overweight is the reason why you shouldn't keep yours. Help it make sense, my guy. Lack is salute. Help that, like, how does that make any sense? How does that question make any sense? When in all seriousness, it's just in stark comparison. Drugs or weight? Drugs or weight? Weight or drugs? Hey, it's a WBC title, correct? Is it not a WBC title? That's why it comes in, because it's called a comparison. I'm comparison why the extremes here. So if we'll take a title away from David for being overweight, but we will let Oscar keep his title for testing for drugs and not even sending in whatever this banned substance was or the so-called T sample, but that's more of a reason why he should continue to be able to fight Conceição and keep his title. So what are you saying? What are you saying? Like, yo, this dude is such a cornball, bro. Like, it's just like, yo, if it come down to moving goalposts or poking our asses out for weird Canelo type niggas, let's just go ahead and move that shit to where we want to move it. But you can't deny the fact. You can't deny the fact. Point blank, period. I guess it make more sense for drug cheats to keep their belt, right? Hey, cool. Hey, man, if that's the world you want to live in, hey, man, I'm cool with that too, man. Whole bunch of freaking pixie dust and fairies and shit flying around and a whole bunch of weird Canelo fans with their asses poked out. Oh, no, you defending a whole lot of dumb shit that don't have a fucking peg leg to stand on. I'm just saying. But off that, though. As soon as Canelo got mentioned, that shit struck a bad nerve, man. Y'all want to make this dude greater than what he really is. I'm sorry, I just got my feet on the ground. Y'all niggas is like, everything about Canelo, you know what I'm saying? Like, fuck out of here, man. That dude ain't proved shit yet. So at the end of the day, I'm just saying, we see how boxing fans really are. You know, we cater to whatever, you know what I'm saying, fits our narrative. Just like he said, just like earlier, he said that, you know, he wasn't arguing, you know, lack of skill, when clearly, you know, he definitely emphasized on Frazier versus Ali 3 not being a skill fight until everybody and their mama corrected him on how crazy that shit sound. Hey, man, what can I do? What can I do? All I could do was just point this shit out, man, and just be like, damn, bro. I can't believe it. I love it all. I love it all. I mean, he's got more credible wins under his belt than Plant do. I believe Graville and Durrell are better than any two wins that you can claim on Plant record. Right? Even the Ellis fight is better than who damn Plant fought. Facts. That's what I'm saying. He don't have much more, but the fact of the matter is, his record is better than goddamn Caleb Plant's. I'm just saying. At the end of the day, it's just funny that the real killers of the division always get moved out the way. So when I make a comparison that when I say that, okay, Canelo has always come up short in his biggest moments. He a drug cheat. He got 5 catch weights. He created a ghost division. Am I wrong for saying that, or those just not the facts? That's just all I'm saying, man. WBC based and ran by Mexican Mauricio Suleiman is full of shit. But I guess Al must be half Mexican because Wilder Russell Jr. gets past his bad. Look, man, it's all about relationships and ego stroking boxing, God, and who's more than willing to do it a little bit more than the other, for real, for real. Mauricio Suleiman is made very clear that he's more than willing to ego stroke and stroke the balls of, you know what I'm saying, every Mexican fighter that walks the face of, you know what I'm saying, that walks the face of this earth. Outside of David Benavidez, because he won't conform. It's like think about what happened with Franchon Cruz and fighting motherfucking Alex Jimenez when she fought that big ass dude. When she fought that big ass dude, Alex Jimenez. When she fought that big ass dude, what did they do? They tried to strip her title, say they was gonna stand behind her and everything. Then it took a hell of a long time for her to get them titles back. I'm just saying. 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 But you know, hey, it's cool. Let's continuously move goalposts. Or do we want to go back to the Sergio Martinez controversy? I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. But these are the things that you know what I'm saying? But these are the things that, you know, a guy like boxing with Sean, that he would ignore. But, you know, when I bring up these comparisons or whatever, what do they have to do with anything? It has everything to do with the fact that the WBC gets hella crooked when it comes to, we already know who. Come on, man. I'm never the dude that just say stuff to, like, you know what I'm saying? To like try to hose anybody down or nothing. I'm just saying what the facts are, bro. I'm just saying what the facts are. And like I said, we can move goalposts when they fit our narratives or whatever. But the fact of the matter is, man, look, man, the paper trail behind the WBC and the things they continuously do to fighters is to a certain class of fighters compared to a Latino class of fighters. Hey, man, they do a lot of flawed shit. Wilder fans keep talking about Fury supposed cheating, but ignore Wilder's rabbit punching, such scorecards, and referee interference. Look, every time Wilder was ready to get knocked out in his career, it's just amazing to me that a doctor always finds time to run up in that motherfucker and get that nigga basically a fucking phantom standing eight. Am I lying though? Am I lying? That's what I'm saying. Both with the A sample and the B sample was dirtier than a motherfucking Baltimore pissy hallway in the projects, man. Come on, man. The A sample and the B sample was dirtier than a pissy freaking hallway in the Baltimore projects, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. What are we doing? What are we talking about here, man? But see, you know, but look, you know, if the narrative fits the fucking prima donna, man, let's do it. Not only the fact that she was in that joint fighting the whole dude. She was in that joint fighting the whole dude. Like not a half a dude. I'm Chris, man, salute. She was out there joint fighting the whole dude, Chris. She was out there joint fighting the whole dude, JD. Not like a half a dude, a whole dude. Had the armpit hair and all of that. Super strong ass elbows and shoulders. Bitch, elbows were strong as a motherfucker. She was fighting a whole dude, not a half a dude. I'm talking about a whole man. I'm talking about a macho man. I'm talking about a whole dude. She was fighting a whole dude, man. And they did everything. They did everything to keep that belt away from Franchon, to the point to where she having to file petitions and get ready for the sick the legal dogs on them and everything. They didn't want to get that girl her titles back. Why was it so hard? See what I'm saying? Corruption begets more corruption. And see the corruption that they do, you know, if it works out if it works out for the Valdezes of the world, the Canelo Alvarezes of the world, for the Alex Jimenezes of the world, for the Mauricio Suleimans, for anybody else, if it works out for those guys, then hey man, they're willing to sweep it under the rug because because they're fans of those fighters. They're fans of those fighters. It's the most fucking corrupt. It's the most corrupt boxing community. WBC, man. You gotta fucking love them, man. I fucking can't stand the WBC. And anybody who tries to defend the WBC, you should just smack yourself because you know damn well they're not living right. They just not living right at all. It was the voice, man, and everybody was asking questions. Yo, dude, that motherfucker was big, man. That motherfucker was bigger than me, man. That dude was bigger than me, man. And she talking, they in that joint, man. She in that joint knocking her weave out her head and everything, talking about you want your weave or you want to win. I said, God damn. For real, like Jimenez would probably give goddamn Jaime Munguia a run for his money. Like, Jimenez, you want your weave or you want to win? Talk to me. You want your weave or you want to win? That's all I want to know. Do you want your weave or do you want to win? You can't make this shit up, man. This is hilarious. You can't make it up. And then the people that defend them, like, so-called boxing channels, man. So-called boxing channels, man. Do you want your weave or you want to win? That's what it boiled down to that night. That bitch trying to pick that joint up. She got a whole macaroni Tony on the side of her head. She trying to pick that shit up, man. Like, damn. She just took that joint out and threw it in the audience like this. Bitch came back in the ring, half head, half bald. Jones like Diplomat's album. But it was like, Jewels is out here wilding. He running around here, half head, half bald. That was Franchon Cruz. She was getting hit with them PD punches, knocking chunks of weave out that bitch head. Bitch hitting so hard, knocking chunks of weave out that bitch head. Jesus Christ. You want your weave or you want to win? Best quote of 2020. God damn. You know you really in a fight when you got to pick and choose between your weave or when you got to pick between weaves and titles, you're in a hell of a fight. A hell of a fight. Because I'm sure she wanted her weave. And I'm sure she wanted to win too. But when it all boils down to it, I'm sure she had to conform. And I'm sure she was highly pissed off that she lost her weave and her world title. All to a goddamn man that ain't playing fair, man. These niggas, these new GMO bred niggas, these genetically modified. These genetically modified organisms. I'm sure, like, yo, you dealing with these motherfuckers want to piss in the same bathroom with you. Got this big ass dude. He's supposed to be in this bitch squatting. He's standing up, fucking whipping out his dick and shit, pissing in the stall with you. And that's the motherfucker I got to fight tonight? Well. I got to fight this big ass dude tonight. That's the direction boxing going in. Golden Boy still doing French on wrong. Won't even get it a fight with Cedar Rouge. Now that's a fight I really wanted to see. Like yo, and the thing is, it shouldn't be hard for Golden Boy to do such. But here's the thing: when they have an issue with you, when you go out of your way to make an example out of them, they make it very evident that it's personal, and they try to make an example out of you. Clearly, everything gets personal with them. You easily throw that thing on the zone, but you want to know why they won't? Because she went out of her way for justice to be served. And in boxing, oh, you're not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to upset the apple cart. You're supposed to take title shots when we necessarily give them to you. You're supposed to, you know what I'm saying? Like, raise your hand and act proud when you lose. And we rob you and give you better scorecards. And when we cheat you, you're just supposed to accept the fact that you were cheated. I don't get it. I really don't. I don't understand it. But I'm going live again after 12. I want to talk about Dillian White, Tyson Fury. What does that look like? I want to talk about some potential fights since we got Bud Crawford and Sean Porter coming up. I really want to dive deep into that for those other people who are adverse to thinking that Sean Porter really has a chance. So maybe we can get some people to come up and I can flame the shit out of them based on, you know, they thoughts and beliefs in Sean Porter. We're gonna go at this again, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock Eastern time. I'm gonna set the live in about 30 or 45 minutes. So appreciate everybody for coming through pretty long on this morning, very, very early this morning. But you know, good stuff came out of it. A couple idiots slid through. Everybody be safe, and I'll see y'all around 1. Bye, bye. You already know what it is.